Die, sewer fiend. Looks like Wormstone.
Hello YouTubers and fellow Square Enix fans, this is Daryl from Final Fantasy Fan, and today we're doing a Warhammer Shadow of the Horned Red Let's Play. This is a game I used to play quite a bit as a kid, when I was about 7 or 8 years old, and I remember it being very hard back then. I know this game can be very unforgiving, especially with the RNGs, etc. But what I'm going to try and do is, I'm gonna start a new campaign. And every decision I make is final. Everything that happens in the battle will be final. I'm going to lose a unit. I will try and continue playing without that unit. If I do an easy battle and it winds up completely annihilating almost half of my army, I will still continue. I'll see if I can crawl back up from there. That's gonna be most of it. So I'm just first gonna check my options. Gonna check the settings. Everything seems to be on high settings, or the highest settings. It is a game from around 1995, I believe. So, yeah, most of the computers will be able to run this nowadays without any problems. Without further ado, I'm gonna start the campaign. And if you've seen my previous video, the intro to this series, I actually read a little bit of story about Commander Bernhard. How he formed the Grudgebringers, how he got his magical sword, and how he gathered his men. So I'm gonna stick true to that, and I'm gonna name the commander Bernhard, as his default name is. So I'm gonna start from there. And then we are inside what I do believe to be a caravan wagon. With this guy here. This is Dietrich. He's also in the story. We have a curtain, which lets us board the campaign. Go back to the starting menu. Behind Dietrich here we have a cabinet, which allows us to change the options. Which you don't really need, because we just visited that at the start. This map here allows you to save your game. Here this little scroll file bookcase thingy. I don't know what to call it actually. This allows you to select your missions. Dietrich, if he's looking towards you, that usually means you can click on him and he will have something to say. If I click on him right now, nothing's gonna happen. He's just browsing his ledger, I think. We have 500 gold crowns, which if we try to touch, he says, hey, don't touch that. There's a candle here with a flame, which hurts if you touch it, apparently. This hourglass doesn't do anything, surprisingly. And there's 3 books here. We got the Books of Magic, or the Book of Magic, not books, one book. We got a Troop Thruster, and we got a Battle Bestiary. Gonna check the Books of Magic first. And here we have the Grudgebringer. This is actually from the story as well. The Flame Wizard gave it to us. And it actually increases your chance of hitting and wounding enemies. And it has an addition spell which allows you to cast a fireball every magic cycle. I do believe magic cycles are once every minute. So once a minute has passed, you can cast another fireball from this, which is quite nice because you can dwindle your enemies a little bit before you charge them down. And we have 1 potion of strength. This is a one-time use only. You can use it to increase your strength of the one who drinks it. After that, the potion is gone. The duration of that potion does last the entire battle. So what I usually do with these potions is just try to keep them, unless they were in a really tough spot or like in a a tough chapter, I guess, like one of the final chapters or something like that, I will pop the potion, because usually I try to hang on to them, but then I complete the entire game and I still have these potions, so might as well use them, but use them sparingly, I suppose. That's the only two things we have for now. So I'm just going to check my roster. Here we have the Grudgebringer Cavalry, which is basically your main unit. You can see here the banner they're using, and a picture of the commander, or their leader from that specific squad. So the troops, they have an armor rating of 4, and they use a sword. The commander of this one is Commander Bernhard. That's basically you're playing the commander, which has an armor rating of 4 as well, and a sword. So in this case, they share both the same armor rating. Sometimes the hero units, I call them hero units, they have a slightly better statistics than their counterparts, their troops. Over here we have the experience points, which is 0 right now because we haven't started anything yet. The cost of the upkeep, so even if you don't take these units into battle, they will still cost you a bit of money. And then there's the gold crowns, which, except here, this is the part where this is how much you're spending if you do hire them. Usually the cost of upkeep is 10% of what they cost when you take them into battle, rounded down. So it doesn't cost 19.2, no, it's just 19. Even if this is like 198, it's always rounded down, so it will be 19. It's divided by 10 and then rounded down. So if you press statistics here you can actually see that the skills for the commander, or the legendary units, the hero units if you will, they are always slightly stronger than their units they're leading into combat. Their movement is the same. If you check weapon skill, it's 1 higher for Bernhard. Ballistic skills is 2 higher. Strength is 1 higher. Toughness is 4 higher. Wounds is 1 higher. Initiative is 1 higher. Attacks is 1 higher, and leadership is 2 higher. So that's like 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 10 points more than he has for his counterparts. Let's go back a little bit. Then there's one more troops we have, which is the Grudgebringer Infantry, which is led by Lieutenant Shepke, which we also saw in the starting introduction in the story. Here you can see these troops have an armor rating of 2, and Shepke has an armor rating of 3. They both use swords. Whereas the cavalry uses 12 units, the infantry uses 16 units. Both of them start out with 2 skulls. That's their deadliness. As they level up, they increase their deadliness, like from 2 to the lowest is 1, then you have 2, 3, and 4. After 4 skulls, they can still level 1 up. They will get a giant skull, which is level 5. I do believe that's the highest level they can get. You can also see that their not their experience, but their gold crowns are less. They're cheaper than the infantry, 12 to 19. Again, about 12, like I said, 10% rounded down. In this game you have active and you have wounded. And there's also deaths, but they don't count here. So what it is, you have 16 active. If you go into battle and you lose 8 units during that battle, you'd be put on active 8. However, those 8 that you lose can be divided up either in deaths and wounded. The deaths will be permanently lost. The wounded can come back. So how this works is, if you go to a specific city, you can replenish your troop counts. The ones that are dead, you can replenish them. However, if you have units that are wounded, you cannot replace them by just replenishing them inside the city. You have to wait 1 or 2 battles or events for them to come back into your active roster. So sometimes it's actually better to have dead units than wounded units if you know you're going to have replenishment. You can't do anything about it, it's generated randomly how much deaths and wounded you have. But sometimes it's better to have deaths because you can instantly replace them if you have replenishment points in the city. However, when they're wounded, even if you are able to replenish your units, the wounded, you have to wait for them. So the good thing about wounded ones though is that if you're doing a long mission where there's a lot of battles or a lot of intersections where there's a chance they recover, it doesn't cost you any replenishment points, or you don't have to go visit a city. They will come back to your active roster after a while. So it kind of really depends on the situation which is better. Sometimes it's better to have a lot of deaths. Sometimes it's better to have a lot of wounded. Though of course it's better not to have neither of them and just be active all the time. But yeah, this game has a lot of RNG when fighting. So one time you can fight the goblins, level 1, and you can kill them without any problem. Sometimes you can fight even level 4 black orc skulls, 12 versus 12, or even if their party is higher, like 16, you can end up losing a 0 units, especially if you rout them early. And then there's another time when you're fighting like the level 1 skull goblins, and they just wipe out your entire Grudgebringer cavalry, which is one of your strongest units. So in that respect, the RNG here, it can be very random, which is gonna make the challenge I have put up for myself can be quite difficult, because, you know, I want to keep doing like an Iron Man mode. Whatever I do is gonna be permanent. So I'm just gonna make a quick save. As you can see, everything's empty. Just bought the game of GOG for like, I think, €2. GOG, good old games. Well, I think not even €2. I think it was like €1.60 or something. And the game this great for me at least. Yeah, it's aged. The graphics didn't age very well, but the gameplay is still there. People that are fan of the Warhammer series, they can enjoy this. People that are a fan of the RTS series, RTS games, they might be able to enjoy this if you're not really into graphics. This game has a very unique, campaign mode, where you go through several missions and try to gather your units. Everything that dies is like a permanent decision, unless you load your game, of course. But yeah, the way this game plays out for me is, I've only seen it in like 1 or 2 other games. The other game is their successor, Warhammer Dark Omen, which is immediately after this game, where you also play as the Grudgebringer mercenaries. And then there is another one, which is I think Warhammer Battle March or Mark of Chaos, which already plays differently, but it holds the same kind of settings, the same kind of setup, though it's already slightly different than Warhammer and Shadow of the Horned Red and Warhammer Dark Omen. Well, I've been babbling on for quite a while. Just made a save game. So let's do our first mission. Gonna select the mission here. And then we have Protect Schnappleburg. It gives 100/400. The 100 is a down payment. You get it immediately upon accepting. The 400 is a completion bonus. Let's do a briefing.
I have spoken to the elder of the hamlet. Schnappleburg needs hired thugs for protection from orc and goblin raiding parties. It is known that greenskins have established a camp somewhere in this area. 4 nearby villages have been pillaged in the last 3 weeks. The locals live in fear of an attack. We will be stationed in this forsaken backwater for 2 weeks. During this time, it will be our duty to protect the peasants and their property.
2 weeks will give you enough time to find us more work. Perhaps something that pays a little better. I'm tired of risking my life for peasants and ale money.
Alright, our first mission. Gotta protect this camp or village, Schnappleburg, from invading goblins and orcs, greenskins basically. Bernard isn't too happy because the pay is kinda low. But well, it's our first mission, so let's see, let's jump in. Here we have select regiments for Protect Schnappleburg mission. You can see here 192 golds because we selected them, but these guys you cannot unselect them. These will always be active. The infantry, right now they cost 12 gold. 192 plus 12 is 204. However, for this mission I'd like to bring them along. You can see here the 12 gold will change to 128, making the total 320 gold. We started with 500 crowns. As you can see, we got 600 crowns now. So down payment is 100. So after this mission we will gain 400, but 320 will be deducted, so we should be able to get 680 gold at the end of this battle. Let's select. Or done actually. Next and back is for if you have multiple tabs of troops. Now there's a select marching order. You can select in which order they march. Number 1 being up front, then followed by 2, etc, etc, etc. What I'd like to do is put my infantry in front, my cavalry in the back, because my cavalry is faster. They can always just rush to the front. However, if your melee units are in the back, it will take a bit of time for them to catch up to your cavalry. Cavalry might already be fighting before they can do anything. Though I believe in this mission you do not get ambushed, so you have a time to set up everything, so the marching order doesn't matter. Some missions you do get ambushed, you don't have time to set up, you just go straight into the fight. And then you have to, yeah, basically this does matter a lot during ambushes. So, also again, next and back if you have more than... Oh, back does work, next doesn't work. It's again if you have more than, I don't know, like 8, I think 8 kinds of troops. Pressing done. So here you can see we're moving from Wiesenheim to Schnappleburg. We didn't get ambushed, it does ask us to prepare for battle, so that's what we're going to do. Right here we have goblin stickers, which are only 1 skull. There's 20 of them. I'm gonna put my cavalry up there. If you hold control, you can actually rotate your characters like that. You notice here on the screen, right here. Oh, my hand was on top of it. It's just near my pointer. You can see a little sparkle there. That's actually a magic item. In this game, whoever picks it up will keep it until he dies. So there's no swapping items between characters. Here there's a tree, so if you put your characters out of line of sight of any other character, so here's in view, here's out of view. Right now none of these characters, or if there's more than one, do believe there's another group here, they won't be able to see this guy's hiding. And here's the AI, this little guy with a android brain looking thing. You want to turn that off, because AI in this game, yeah, don't trust it at all. So that's set up, you got this flag here, you click it, you'll start. But I might wanna, you can already make commands there, tell them where to go. So let's start the game. Select this, attack now. My cavalry just charged in, my infantry, I don't know where they're going. This helps them increase their fighting morale. Just select the Grudgebringer there. My infantry. Turn them so they don't get charged to the flank. The cavalry will always be able to charge them before the infantry can charge them. So what you want to do is, if they get charged anyway, might as well charge them from the flank. From the front, not from the flanks. Just lost 2 cavalry there. Okay, my cavalry just routed out the goblin stickers. Ooh, I lost 4 infantries there, which is quite a lot. I hope they can hang on. I hope they don't rout out. My cavalry's on their way. My infantry routed out the goblin wolf riders. But I'm gonna greet them with my cavalry as well, because they're still fleeing. Here you can see, what do you call this? Hourglass, which means the battle is not over yet. So they can still regroup, but I want to run them down with my cavalry. So we can also get a little bit of XP. Now it's mission complete, so now... Oh, okay, there we go. When you see this camp here, or here mission complete, usually, sometimes you can hear it because of all the noise, all the game sounds. Then you can actually end the battle. But I did tell you just now that there's a shiny here. So we're gonna pick that up with the infantry. We lost 6 infantry here, which is a lot actually. And 2 cavalry. Not too bad about that. There you go, you can still see the corpses. This is about 50-50. Good battle there. We ended the battle. 8 losses. Let me end the chapter. Mission complete. You eliminated all enemy regiments. We got no villagers killed. We got no buildings destroyed. And the infantry, the Grudgebringer infantry have found the Sword of Might, which is really good. Here, the infantry, it has a total of 16, starts with 16. There's 10 of them left. They got 8 kills, 3 of them died, 3 of them wounded. So the wounded ones will get back the wounded ones. The dead ones will just have to replenish once we're in the city. They gained 120 experience. Now the Grudgebringer cavalry, same deal, 12 units, 10 survived, 1 death, 1 wounded, 22 kills, giving 132 XP. So the Goblin Wolf Riders, the infantry got down, were worth more experience than the Goblin Stickers. So initial payment was 100. Like I said, we had 500 to begin with. We got 100 from the mission giver, giving us 600. I think we spent 420 gold taking everything into battle. So here you can see 680. We had 500, got 100, and then 400, which is 1,000. Spent 320, which you can't see here, only at the start of the battle. But 1,000 minus 320 is 680. It says here we already received 100, and we got a final payment of 400, bringing us onto a total of 680. Not too bad. Little cutscene here. So that was a cutscene with Thankful, which I believe is a Greyseer of the Skaven race, and he's actually one of their leaders. He made an axe, infused it with warpstone, and yeah, he's gonna use that to plan one of his evil plots to destroy our empire, which we are going to prevent, or try to at least. So this is the new sword we found. The sword has been beaten out and reforged 100 times until it pulls with pent-up energy. When grasped by a brave warrior, the sword's power flows into him, invigorating him and filling him with new strength. He will be more likely to inflict wounds during close combat. So that's a good sword to have for my Grudgebringer infantry. We're back into town, so let's see if we can replenish. We can actually replenish 1, because the other one was wounded. Here you can see we got 11 active and 1 wounded. Gotta wait for the wounded to revive. We can actually take 3 of the dead ones, so we're back to 13. 3 of them were wounded, so we gotta wait those out. 680 gold crowns now. And then, let's see for our next mission. We got 2 missions here. Escort to Holst and Sven Carlson. Most of the time it's better to take the upper mission first, as that's a side quest. And the lower one is usually a main quest. Sometimes there's even 3. Same almost applies there. The first one is usually optional, but then there's 2, and those 2 can be main quests. Some of them can be side quests, but most of them, the lower ones, are usually the main quests.